Hello everyone, it's so good to be with you again. It's been really very hot here in the UK, and yeah, we've had an unprecedented time. Not much rain at all, so it's lovely to be with you together. It's been so hot in the evenings that I haven't felt like filming when I've got home, and today I thought let me take advantage of the slightly cooler weather. So what I've got in store today is a way to show you how to make ephemera just with one A4 sheet of card. I know that a lot of people don't have excessive amounts of cash available at the moment, and they'd like to be able to make a variety of ephemera without too many different supplies. So I'm keeping my supplies down to a minimum, very basic, and I would like to show you what I've come up with. So with one A4 sheet of card, you will be able to make 12 pieces of ephemera if you are just cutting as per instruction, but there is a 13th piece that you could make, and that's just if you are a careful cutter. If you aren't somebody that cuts carefully, well then that won't be for you. But let me show you what I've got. So I've drawn out on a piece of paper a template, and if you'd like to take a screenshot of this, you're very welcome. You'll see here that I've got a red line going through at the 15 centimeter mark across the width. So you can just draw that line straight away. Then your next mark will be at 15 centimeters, so you're making a square here, and that's going to become one envelope. Then we've got 10.5 centimeters this way, and this could be one of two things. You can either make two journal cards, or if you wanted to just have a sort of mini file folder, you would be able to fold that, and that would mean that you only got one ephemera piece there. And then you've got two 4 centimeter squares here that we'll make into tabs. This 4 by 7 centimeter square we're going to make into a label. And then you've got two tickets here, which are 2.5 centimeters wide. Two stamps. This we're going to make into a photo or a slide frame. And then this one will be a little index card, which will be nice for journaling. So I have given you this opportunity now to take a screenshot. I will show you this again at the end of the video, but I'd just like to show you what I've made using these just very basic things to show you how to make ephemera without too much expense and not wasting any of your card at all. The only little bits you're going to cut out are just these little corner bits. So let's have a go. So the first one I'd like to show you is I've decided to work on some ecru color card to make my little envelope, and my envelope is basically a square, and then you're going to fold your points into the middle, so you can draw lines across the center to find your center point that you're going to fold, so that you'll be, that's the way it goes, like that, be able to fold it. And then obviously you can decorate this, and I'll show you one a little bit later that I've decorated. In fact, I think what will be useful is if I actually put this piece of card back so you've got the template. So that will be your first one. And then I've cut out two journal cards. Now I have taken my corner punch and I've rounded the corners for this so that I've got those 1, 2. This one I've just stamped on an image of a bird, and I took my little sort of mini ink pad here and I just dragged it across the card just to give it that sort of distressed look. And this one I've used a stamp and some washi tape. So very easy things to do. Right, then the next thing that I did was to cut out this little index card, and with this index card I have just taken a stamp, and I think that this is the correct one that I'm pulling out here. Yeah, so I've got a little stamp. No, it's not that one, it's the other one. Sorry, I've got two that look very similar. Let me just grab this other one. So this one is quite nice because it's got an edge all the way around it and it's got some sort of postal markings, and I have just stamped that onto my index card just to give it a bit of detail. And as I said to you at the beginning, I'm keeping this really simple so that if you don't have a lot of supplies, you can make it. So that's the next one there. Then the photo slide frame is this piece here, and we have cut it after we folded it in half, measured that inside edge, and this is where your 13th piece will come. As if you cut neatly, you can use this little piece as an extra piece of ephemera. So that will be that one there. Then for my little label here, I have actually just taken my rectangular piece and I turned my circle punch over, popped this in and just nipped out the corners. And I think if you've got a circle punch you can do that fairly easily. If you don't, just take a small rounded object, trace around the edge of it, and then you'll got that. I mean, if I just had to pick up this glue stick and put that on the corner, you could see I'd get a nice little edge. I could trace around it, so you don't have to have bought equipment. So that's the next one. Then I've got my 2 tickets, and for that I've simply taken my paper punch and punched out the holes, and I've pushed them a little bit more than halfway this way to get that real feel of the tickets. So there we're going with that one. Then for the little stamps, I haven't even gone and layered this much by putting an image on. I've just stamped the images on so that you can see that nicely, and you'll see that you've got 2 of those, but you could quite easily stick a picture on there, and I have done that with some of my others. So that would be the extra piece there. And then for the tabs, I've cut 2, and I have taken my corner rounder again, and I've actually just rounded the edges there. So I've got 2 tabs. So absolutely no waste other than those few little corners out of a sheet of A4 card. So I played around a little bit more, and I have a couple of other ideas that I'd like to show you. So let me just move this to one side like that, because I'm going to need to show you the template again at the edge. And I've done another little envelope here. This was also using Ecro. I've stamped here. This was a bit of washi tape that I put underneath. I don't know if you can see that very well. Washi tape, and then the stamp, and this is just one of those QR codes, and then I've stamped a postmark over it. I don't know why, I just actually really enjoy the QR codes for stamp making. I've been stamping on book pages. I just spent one afternoon stamping images on book pages. So there's one journal card. There's another one that's got a little bit of washi tape, and then this I stamped onto a piece of paper and I've stuck that on. Here's a little index one, so you can see that this has got quite a different style. Instead of actually using just stamped images, I've got images that have been stamped onto paper, and then once they've been stamped onto paper, I've stuck those on. This is my little photo or slide frame, and I have this as the little cutout, so this could be another piece of ephemera. What I did for this one is that I wanted to stamp the image, but obviously once I opened this up, I wasn't sure where the edge would be, so I actually kept it closed, and then I just put a piece of paper here. So if I was to do that, just a piece of random scrap paper, and then stamp the image so that I could make sure I got it inside the frame. So that's my extra little bit of ephemera that came out of there, and I could glue this down, and obviously you could use that for a photograph as well. Sorry, when I start creating I get excited and then I get messy. I'm sure I'm not alone, but it can be difficult. Okay, here's just another piece of ephemera with a bit of washi tape and some stamping. And these little stamp things I find quite interesting. If you take a magazine, often at the back they have adverts, and you can find all sorts of little things. So my first thing normally would be just to stick a small image like that on. Then once you've stamped a postmark over it, you don't really notice that it was an advertisement at all. I had a little sort of fabric texture stamp that I used there, and this was just an old barcode that I've done on my tickets. So I've got 2 of these tickets with a sort of textured look, so it almost looks like a linen look. And then my little tabs, I've just stuck some paper down with a little stamped image. So that is the next one. So let's have a look here. We're building up a different collection of things. Let me just make sure I'm keeping you in frame, because it's very easy for me not to be in frame for a while. And we've got these different ephemera cards, and it's actually once you've got the measurements and you realize that you can actually cut through making very simple center lines. You know, you can cut through, that's a big line, that's a big line, that's a big line, and then it's just working out the blocks. It becomes very easy to cut multiples of these at the same time, so you could have a real binge on a cool day just actually making loads of this. Right, so let me be a bit more organized. Alright, so here we've got different index cards. That's still in frame, so you've got to keep just checking here. There was another photo holder with the extra bit, that one I didn't stamp on. Some more little stamps. and the other tickets that are stamped on. So let's put that there. And then I played around on some recycled card, and this was actually quite fun because it has a completely different look. So I used black ink largely, but I did use some walnut stain, and I've just stamped some windmills and some birds, so that when this all folds together on the outside of the envelope I've got a little bird like that. So I was quite pleased with that little one. And then what else have I done here for you? So my journal cards, these ones just have a different mood. This is just using the card and stamping. That is the walnut stain, the Tim Holtz Distress ink, and that is the walnut, and this is, I think it's called soot black or black soot. So that's actually really nice. So you can see that that is a completely different feel. That's the same bird stamp, but looks quite different there. And then I have an index card like that, where I've actually just stamped the detail on. It's quite nice because you can still add to that as well. So you'll see that that is very similar but a completely different feel on the different color card. And then that's my little frame. So with this one, what I did was open out the card, took one of my larger stamps that's got lots of sort of stamp label writing kind of things, and I haven't yet actually put anything into that frame, but nevertheless I could. I mean, I could do something. I put that little one inside if I wanted to on a piece of background paper. I could put a photograph in there. Here's a different label, which is really nice. So you can see if I've got the different labels together that they are quite different in terms of the feel. But as I say, you don't need a lot of equipment to make your ephemera, and I hope that this is encouraging to some of you, because I know when I left South Africa and I came here, I had to give a lot of my equipment away, so it's sort of almost starting from scratch again. And so I'm building up as well, but I have got more than what I'm showing you here. This one I had a stamp that just had texture on it, so I stamped some of that on there as the back. And then I've got the skyline, which I'm using for the tabs, which I think would be rather fun. I mean, one could easily do that on a journal card if you wanted to put that in somewhere. So I've got a different mood to that kind of tab. This was the extra insert from cutting out this frame. So I've stamped a little map of Africa on there with a postmark, and that in itself could actually be quite a nice piece of ephemera. And then just because I make a product called a bed bug, which is a waterless hot water bottle, and it is a ladybird shape, and I've been making it since, let me see, 1993. I can't tell you how many thousands I've sold. Anyway, I just like little ladybirds, so there's another little stamp with a ladybird. Well, dear friends, I did promise you that I would actually show you all these things. I've just used acrylic stamps. I can't give you specific references. These ones I bought in South Africa and they were made locally, so if you're living in other parts of the world, it's not really going to help you, but you would be able to find something similar back in your home country. And I'm going to now put this down so that you can take a screenshot if necessary. And if you like this video, let me move some of these so it lies flatter for you. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I would love to have comments from you, and please consider subscribing. I do videos every week, and sometimes I try to do twice a week, but I do have a daytime job, so it's not always possible. But thank you so much for watching. It's been a great joy to share this knowledge with you, and I have got actually another one planned with ephemera, but different to this, just out of one A4 sheet. So remember, 12 different ephemera out of one A4 sheet, or you could have the 13th if you can cut very carefully. Bye for now.